Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where every day I share tech stories from all over the world and ask you, the listener, to let me know your thoughts, experiences and insights too. And today I want to give a very special mention to Tudaj Getahun. Apologies if I've mispronounced your name there. And he is from Africa, and he kindly messaged me on Twitter saying that he recently listened to an episode of the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, and it was entitled "The Tech Behind Wireless Blood Glucose Monitoring." And one part of the interview made him a little cross. And he said it was the part where they talked about patents that really offended him, because he said he loved the idea, he loved the product. But can you imagine trying to put a patent on eyeglasses? Because here's a type 1 diabetic who lives in Africa, and he hates the business side of health and tech health because he doesn't believe that anything regarding health should be monetized. And it goes on to say that it's something you cannot truly understand unless you see people reuse a syringe 10 times, which is what he is seeing on a regular basis. And I cannot thank you enough for messaging me and enabling me to see the bigger picture here, and also for people listening too, and people in health tech too. And that is why I record this podcast every single day, not just broadcasting my voice and the voice of the guests and the voice of the big tech companies, but your voice too. This technology is going to affect you and impact your life. And that is what this show is built on, because tech really does work best when it brings people together. So thank you so much for sending that message in. And I urge anyone out there listening, if you have any thoughts to share on any interview, please let me know. I'd love to read them out on here and spread your thoughts too. And you can do all that by emailing me at techblogwriter@outlook.com. But on today's podcast, I have Anthony Mayer, VP of Engineering, who went from Silicon Valley to the very rural part of Germany, famous for vineyards, but not necessarily for tech and startup hubs. And he did all that to help drive disruption in the insurance industry and InsureTech. So today he leads a team of 20 engineers from more than 10 different nations to rethink the role of insurance in a digital-first world. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Germany, where Anthony is waiting to share his tech story with us now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Anthony Meyer. I'm the VP Engineering at GetSafe. So, we're an insurance company, all digital insurance company trying to make insurance better for everyone. And my role here is to oversee our software engineering department, make sure things are running smoothly, the team's happy, and that we're growing. So
Excellent. And I believe that you've moved from Silicon Valley to a rural area of Germany, famous for its vineyards, but not necessarily for tech and startup hubs. But you did that to drive disruption in the insurance industry. But before we go there, I've got to ask, can you share your origin story, where your passion for tech came from, and ultimately what put you on this path of becoming part of GetSafe to drive that disruption in the insurance industry with technology?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I think I was always curious about technology and physical engineering already as a child. I was one of those kids who tried to stick things in light sockets and to see what would happen. But, my path kind of on with software and technology really started in high school. In the US, I was very lucky to have a computer science teacher who was just very inspiring and really did a great job giving me opportunities to learn, and also actually already being able to do an internship in high school. And that really set me off on a path, that led me to study information technology and do various internships. And then after I graduated from university, working at my first startup down, you already mentioned it, but yeah, Silicon Valley in Palo Alto, which was very exciting. And I was pretty much hooked on startups from the first moment. It's just I'd interned at some larger companies in the past, and I just realized, startups are absolutely the place to be, and where they're the most interesting things to do in technology.
Fantastic. And I'm curious, after spending a little time rethinking the role of insurance for a more digital first world, what kind of conclusions did you arrive at?
Well, the whole process of rethinking insurance for digital first world, that started before I joined GetSafe. GetSafe has been around for a few years already. I joined at the end of last year, and I think it's incredibly exciting mission and opportunity. And a lot of where I see the biggest opportunities, and personally as a user of insurance, right, my biggest frustrations is just with making it as clear as possible to people, right? I think insurance is a big, complicated thing that can manifest itself in lots of different ways, and I think it's intimidating for a lot of people. And one of the things we can do with a fully digital product is not only bring it more to the customers, to the users where they want it, right on their phone and an app anytime they want, right? They don't have to go through an insurance agent of old when they're available, right? They can do it as convenient for them. But also we can the depth of information we can give is just better, right? We don't have to overwhelm you with giant pages and pages of legal text explaining every detail. We have the legal text too if you need to read it, but we can give you clear explanatory text, and then if you want to dive deeper, we can give you various levels. And because it's all digital, we can innovate and iterate quickly, right? If we realize, hey, customers aren't understanding this the way we'd hoped or expected, we can update something incredibly quickly that the old insurance companies just can't.
And here in 21, for someone that's hearing about GetSafe for the very first time, can you just expand on the kind of problems that you're solving with your tech and how it could make a difference in their world too?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we provide is an app and the website where you can purchase your standard in insurance products, right? In the UK right now, it's content insurance. In Germany, we offer a handful of products, all your regular insurance products you need. But we let you do it, like I said, all right there in an app on your phone, super easily. And then beyond that, also, that's kind of where you start. And then everything you need to do with your insurance, the goal is you can just do it, at your convenience very, very easily. If you need to change your address because you moved, or you add a spouse or a child or whatever you want to do there, you can just do it all right there. And if something does happen, but that's the reason you have insurance, you need to file a claim. We make it a quick and easy process on your phone and let you follow along with what's happening. So
I suppose the big question is, how would you say GetSafe is different from traditional insurance?
The biggest thing is we are a insurance, we're an InsureTech company, right? And what that means is we're not in a technology company that provides insurance. We're not an insurance company using technology. We're really this combination, right? The whole thing from day one has been built up, built from the ground up together, right? We drive, improvements for our customers through technology, right? And that's the, kind of the angle through which the lens through which we kind of view the world. And that's the big difference, right? And the amount of innovation potential that gives us is huge. And we're still early in our journey. That's for sure. But the path ahead of us is huge. And, traditional insurance companies, they've started getting on board with technology. They've got their basic websites, and some of them even have some apps, right? But they're just dealing with this huge legacy of processes, of everything, and some of their technology, they're insurance companies with technology 40 years old, right? And that's not something they can just update whenever they want. And like I said, I think I said it already, right? But one of the keys for us is making sure that we're continually improving things for the users, right? We're not happy with status quo, right? And we, like I said, we have that built into the DNA of the company, is this ability to keep innovating and keep improving.
And just to bring to life everything we're talking about here, do you have a use case of how someone could get up and running just to bring it to life? So let's say, for example, I've got a last minute trip to Barcelona at the weekend. I want some travel insurance. How easy would it be to get up and running and get a reasonably priced quote?
Yeah, I mean, it's travel insurance for UK customers, not something we currently offer. We did have it in Germany, but Corona kind of changed that. But the general idea is, that kind of insurance product, or any kind of insurance product, yeah. You just open the app, you click on the product you want, and I think travel insurance is normally something like three to five clicks, and then you confirm you want it, and you're done, right? And if you want to read more information before you buy, of course, you can do that as well. But you can purchase a product in minutes. I just last week myself actually purchased an upgrade on one of our insurance policies, and the whole thing, I did it from bed. It took me 2 minutes. So
cool. And price wise, that's going to be a big motivator for people. How do you compare with the big traditional players there?
I don't have all the quotes off the top of my head. That's not so much my area. But we always try to stay competitive. And we do consider ourselves to have a great price. And I think depending on the policy, maybe it's a little cheaper, maybe it's more expensive, but not much ever. Yeah. But really, our main focus isn't on the bottom of the barrel insurance, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to have a great product that's easy and affordable.
And I think I should also highlight that you've got $53 million in funding. And as a result of that, GetSafe is one of Europe's top 10 funded insurance startups. And you joined 10 months ago, but what are the biggest lessons that you've learned along the way?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just insurance is big and complicated, right? I mean, I think, I knew that to an extent, but really once you get into the details, it's truly incredible, right? And that's what makes it so difficult for customers. But it's a big job to kind of untangle that, right? And take some of the things that are just inherently built into the system and of insurance how it stands today, and find ways to make it easier. And I think one of the biggest challenge with something like insurance, which really everybody has, right? And everybody's kind of living in a world of using, for the most part, the kind of the traditional companies, explaining to people how you're better, right? You can tell it, you can show it, but a lot of times people are just comfortable with what they have. There, of course, we have a lot of customers, they're just very excited. They know they want to do something on an app, so they look for us, right? But we definitely see, different kinds of customers where we have to kind of explain and show them the benefits a little bit more. And that's understandable. That's normal with something like this. But I think those are kind of the two biggest challenges really that I've seen.
And of course, every startup in every industry will have to continuously evolve and adapt with the surroundings. And I appreciate you probably can't share too much about the road ahead and the plans that you have, but how do you see GetSafe app evolving, and also the future of insurance tech? Is there anything that excites you or got your attention?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there are 100 things, but I think the goal really is just to make it, to have insurance exactly where you are, where you want to be, and make it really easy, right? And there are a lot of things happening in the InsureTech space in general, things we're keeping our eye on as well, with around devices, Internet of Things devices in your home that are helping keep track of your insurance. A lot of that's still, I think, in the kind of early, maybe not quite gimmick, but let's call it early testing phases to really see what the impact is. But it has a lot of potential. And, but for GetSafe specifically right now, right, our goal is just to, make sure all the products we have are really great, not just from a, technology perspective and letting you do everything you want to be able to do on it, but also that the insurance policies are really the best ones out there for everyone. And, but then, that when you do, I think the biggest thing where we continually try to improve, where a lot of our focus is going right now, is the whole experience around claims, right? We want to make it possible for if something happens to you, something gets broken and then you need to file a claim. that you can do it in seconds and be paid out immediately. That's where we want to get to, and we're on the path there. And just the easier we can make that, and the more self-explanatory we can make the whole thing, the better.
Well, I wish you best of luck on that path. It's something I'm going to be following very closely. But we did start the conversation today talking about your origin story and what took you from the US to Germany and InsureTech. But before I let you go, I always like to have a bit of fun with my guests, and I always ask them if there was a particular song or piece of music that has inspired them throughout their career, or been the soundtrack to that career, or just helps them get their head in the zone before going in a big meeting or on stage. So the big question to you is, what would your song be and why?
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Let's see. One that kind of immediately comes to mind is I had a different high school teacher. Actually, I was very lucky. Who, whenever we were studying we had this long period where we were studying for major exams, and she always played. You can't always get what you want. Kind of at the start of every class to get us pumped up. And I think it's something that's really stuck with me. And I don't know. It's not a song I necessarily pull up these days all the time, but I think it's definitely something that's inspired me in the past.
Yeah, great song, and I'll be adding that to the playlist. But before I let you go, for anyone wanting to find out more information about GetSafe, where they can get the app, how it works, etc., what's the best starting point?
Yeah, absolutely. Super easy to find us in the App Store, of course, but hellogetsafe.com, that's where you'll find us. And, for those interested in more kind of the industry side, we're all over LinkedIn, myself as well. And, different social media channels is always a great way to find us and reach out to us.
Excellent. Well, I'll add those links to the blog post just so people can find you nice and easily. I love how you're using technology to bring insurance to smartphones of, I think, over 200,000 users already. But what I think especially stands out is how a tech platform that is creating speed and flexibility in, let's be honest, one of the slowest and inflexible businesses in the world is fantastic. So a big thank you for joining me, sharing your story, and of course the story of GetSafe. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great to chat.
I love how the GetSafe technological platform is their foundation to expand quickly and analyse countless data points and adjust the entire insurance experience for their users. And with $53 million in funding, it has already become Europe's top 10 funded insurance startups. Like I said in the interview, they're operating in Germany and the UK. And it does feel like they're onto something here, because it is a slow, frustrating industry. And it does feel like some industries are racing ahead and creating seamless experiences, and others maybe not so much. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences on InsureTech, or any area that is doing well or not so well with tech transformation. And you can get hold of me by emailing me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, tweet me at Neil C. Hughes, and my website is techblogwriter.co.uk. I'm afraid we've reached the end of another episode, so all that's left for me to say is a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.